Welcome back to this week's edition of the Risk Spotlight Operational Risk News Update. My name is Emily Jones, and today I'll be bringing you essential updates and insights from the world of operational risk, drawn from the past week. All information shared here is sourced from the Risk Spotlight portal, the premier forward-looking service dedicated to operational risk content. Let's get started. The first update highlights findings from a new report published by Climate House. The report highlights eye-opening news about so-called green investment funds in the EU. Turns out, these funds, which are supposed to promote environmental and social goals, are actually investing millions in major coal companies around the world. We're talking about at least $65 million invested in coal giants across China, India, the US, Indonesia, and South Africa. These companies are not just maintaining their coal operations, but they're actually expanding them, which goes against the 2021 UN agreement to reduce coal use. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. These investments are coming from big names like BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and Fideuram, a subsidiary of Italy's largest bank. Many of these firms have signed pledges to align their portfolios with climate-friendly investments, but their actions seem to tell a different story. The coal companies they're investing in collectively emit about 1,393 million tons of CO2 annually. That's enough to put them in the top 5 polluters if they were a country. The EU introduced regulations back in 2021 to discourage greenwashing and promote sustainable investments. But it looks like these rules might be falling short. Financial watchdogs are warning that the current system is actually having the opposite effect, potentially misleading the public about what's really sustainable. This is happening while countries like China and India are ramping up their coal production. It's a complex situation that highlights the challenges in aligning financial investments with climate goals, especially when it comes to emerging markets. The next update covers an announcement by FCA that investment firms must start reporting on their sustainable investment labels as part of the new Sustainability Disclosure Requirements, SDR. Firms have until end of September to submit their data, impacting 98% of the UK's retail investment market. An interactive tool is also planned to help consumers compare sustainable investment products. Additionally, the FCA is introducing new rules for overseas funds. From December 2024, these funds will need to meet the same naming and marketing requirements as UK-based products for sale to UK retail investors. This is part of the FCA's efforts to combat greenwashing and ensure accurate sustainability claims. The next update is about the European Commission releasing a draft implementing act for the Network and Information Security II directive, impacting cybersecurity in the EU. The act outlines specific cybersecurity measures and incident reporting thresholds for digital service providers like cloud computing, data centers, and social media platforms. Non-compliance could result in fines of up to 10 million euros, or 2% of global annual turnover. EU member states have until October 18, 2024, to enforce NIS2. Interestingly, the requirements will apply directly to relevant entities on the same date, bypassing the need for transposition into national laws. The Commission is accepting feedback until July 25, 2024, with the Act to be finalized by October 17th. The next update highlights scary projections for deepfake risks. Deepfake-related losses are expected to skyrocket from $12.3 billion in 2023 to a whopping $40 billion by 2027. That's a 32% annual growth rate. Last year alone saw a 3,000% increase in deepfake incidents, and experts predict we'll see 140,000 to 150,000 cases globally in 2024. The banking and financial services sectors are particularly at risk, with deepfake fraud costing contact centers an estimated $5 billion annually. What's really alarming is that many enterprises aren't prepared for this threat. According to Avanti's research, 30% of enterprises have no plans for identifying and defending against adversarial AI attacks. Yet, 74% of enterprises are already seeing evidence of AI-powered threats, and 89% believe we're just at the beginning of this problem. The next update highlights big news from the U.S. Supreme Court, which is shaking up cybersecurity regulations. The court has ruled that it, not regulatory agencies, should interpret laws. This decision overturns nearly 40 years of legal precedent and could potentially weaken or alter all federal cybersecurity regulations. This ruling is expected to trigger a wave of lawsuits challenging recent cyber regulations, such as the SEC's rules on reporting cybersecurity incidents, the FCC's data breach reporting rules, and CISA's proposed cyber incident reporting requirements. Even older regulations could be challenged. For chief information security officers and businesses, this means a potential trend towards deregulation and inconsistent interpretations of regulations across different jurisdictions. This creates uncertainty, and businesses will need to stay alert as they navigate this changing regulatory landscape. The next update highlights cyber insurance-related findings from a recent report from insurance broker Howden's. Even as ransomware attacks are on the rise, cyber insurance premiums are actually falling. This is largely due to businesses becoming more adept at curbing their losses from cybercrime. In 2021 and 2022, insurance premiums to protect companies against cyber attacks skyrocketed, driven by the surge in cyber incidents during the COVID-19 pandemic. However, in the past year, these premiums have been dropping, with the cyber insurance market seeing double-digit price reductions in 2023-24. The next update highlights rigorous crackdown on misconduct by South African regulator Financial Sector Conduct Authority. The regulator reported that it took 1,323 administrative actions over the period and imposed fines in excess of $51.8 million on 33 individuals, a more than ninefold increase from the prior year. The increase in enforcement comes as South Africa attempts to get itself removed from a watch list of the Paris-based Financial Action Task Force, an international standard-setting body that aims to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing. The African nation was added to the FATF's so-called gray list last year after being found to have failed to adequately tackle illicit financial flows. The last update is on romance scams. In 2023, these heartbreaking schemes cost consumers a whopping $1.4 billion, according to the Federal Trade Commission. That's right, billion with a B. These scams are particularly nasty because they prey on people's emotions, with cybercriminals sweet-talking their way into victims' wallets. The median loss? A cool $2,000 per person, making it the costliest type of imposter scam out there. And there you have it, a whirlwind tour of last week's operational risk landscape. If you want to read more about the topics I have covered and review additional content on emerging operational risk topics, then please log into the RiskSpotlight portal if you are a subscriber, or go to RiskSpotlight.com to sign up for a free trial. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, stay safe and keep those risks in check.